I am a 200-hour certified yoga instructor in Kansas City, and I also am certified to teach accessible yoga. I got that training about a year and a half ago in St. Louis, and the organization's really awesome. They host trainings and conferences every year. Accessibleyoga.com is where you can find out more about that. Taking that training really has informed my teaching style and my personal practice. I became extremely passionate about making yoga accessible through that training and after the fact. And I'm really excited to share with you today how you can make your personal practice, or maybe if you're a teacher, your classes more accessible for people. So when we talk about accessibility in yoga, we are talking about like physical accessibility, but we're also talking about other ways that yoga is not currently inclusive or accessible to everyone in the West, at least. So things like consent, cultural appropriation, white supremacy, and then the physical accessibility were all things that we spent a lot of time talking about. And I know I have witnessed all of those in real life in studio culture, in the way that yoga is advertised or portrayed in the media, and a lot of just like everyday people's ideas of what yoga is and who it's for. And, I think yoga is for everyone, truly, everybody. It's accessible to everyone. If you can breathe, you can do yoga. If you've got a mind, you can do yoga. So kind of getting away from the fixation on posture and encouraging a more holistic approach and really honoring the roots by teaching philosophy in addition to asana. So today I would like to talk about some ways that we can make our yoga practice more accessible. And this can be personally, or it can be in the classroom if you're a teacher. Really the whole idea of working with accessible yoga or trying to make a point of shifting your practice or your teaching style into one that is accessible is this idea of making yoga inclusive and really driving that point home that yoga is for everybody. And when we do that, we're actively decolonizing our personal practice, and we're also working on decolonization in a community level too, which is extremely important. So how do we make yoga accessible? There are a lot of ways, and I'm going to talk about two of the ways today. There are a few more that I'd really love to get to, so maybe we'll have a second part to this video at a later time. So look forward to that. But today we're going to talk about how to adapt asana and find the essence of a pose. So asana is the Sanskrit word for pose or posture. And you may have noticed that in most classes that you may attend virtually or in real life, it is almost entirely asana based or postural. So it's usually a very physical practice. Because of that, it may not be the most accessible class, but there are ways to make an asana class accessible too. So great news. So one of the ways we can adapt asana is by finding the essence of a pose or posture. And when I say the essence, I kind of mean a few things. So first, this idea of deconstructing a posture, or dissecting it, kind of breaking it up into parts. So really looking at the pose and seeing, what are we doing here? What is the function? What's physically going on in the body? So kind of taking a really objective approach and looking at what the function is, or like the why behind the posture. So for example, in Uttanasana, forward fold, you're getting a big stretch for the backs of your legs. You're also inverting because your head is below your heart. And you're also decompressing the spine, because when you're draping your upper body over the legs like that, you're relaxing your shoulders, you're letting your head hang. And so there's definitely more than one thing happening with your physical body there. So a way to adapt asana is to seek the essence of it. What's happening? What's going on here? So with that example, a way to make this posture more accessible is to kind of break it down into those parts and then offer portions of it to people. So instead of, or in addition to offering Uttanasana in the maybe more traditional representation, let's say, of that posture, you can offer portions of it. So say you would like to really target the backs of the legs, you can do so by maybe taking a stretch on your back, laying on your back, and maybe working with a strap and extending one leg at a time and kind of like guiding your leg in towards your body to stretch the backs of the legs that way. You could also take any other inversion. Legs up the wall would be a really awesome thing to offer because it's gentler, more restorative, and you're getting the leg stretch and you're also getting the inversion in there. You can also choose to take that posture seated in a chair or on the floor, and it's going to be a different experience that way as well. So giving lots of options is really great, and giving people or yourself the opportunity to choose to do something different or to do just a portion of it, and not even like just a portion. That portion's great, and it's just as valuable as any other option. So trying to adopt that language of offering many choices and empowering yourself and students to make choices based on what their body is asking for, what their body needs in order to maybe heal or to experience the posture in a way that is not painful, or experience the posture or the benefits of the posture in a way that's going to actually be accessible to them. So another way of dissecting a posture, I know sometimes people, when they're given a lot of options, they don't know what to do. They're like, how do I choose? They get overwhelmed by the choices. So you can guide others and yourself by asking, how am I feeling? How does this posture feel in my body when I do it this way? How about when I do it, just a portion of it? Where do I experience this stretch in my body? Where do I want to experience the stretch in my body? Where does it feel good? So just getting really curious, encouraging that exploration and that kind of inner dialogue. So you're building this body awareness, you're building more confidence in your decision making, you're feeling empowered to personalize your practice. And I find it a little more interesting than just, following along and doing everything exactly as I'm told, or exactly as it's shown to me in someone else's body. So that is how you can go about kind of deconstructing posture and then choosing pieces of it. And that's one way of making asana accessible. Another way is by working with the inner experience. And I was kind of getting there when I was at bringing up these ideas of asking yourself how something feels, being in your body and really experiencing the posture. When I say take the posture with the use of your inner experiences, I think that's what I just said. What I really mean is a more energetic way of practicing. So kind of setting aside all of the physical asanas and instead working with visualization. So this is going to be a much more subtle approach, but it's actually a really powerful way of experiencing a practice, a yoga practice. So this may look more like meditation, pretty much just like letting yourself shift inwards, visualize yourself doing the posture, think about how it feels, and let yourself really sit with that idea and with that feeling. I really enjoy doing work like that, and when you take this approach, it truly is an approach that everyone can access. So no matter your physical abilities, we can all access the use of this inward, energetic form of practice. So an example for this could be tree pose, vrikshasana. Think about, if you visualize yourself doing tree pose, it's a balancing pose. You have to be grounded, but you're also finding a sense of steadiness and balance. There's like a lifting energy with tree pose. You're a tree, you're growing your branches, you're getting tall while you're rooting into the earth. So it's a really like dynamic posture, and it's one that if you take the time to really allow yourself to feel it and embody it, you can still receive the benefits. Especially, you can get the shoulder and chest expansion, like maybe your posture becomes involved, but you can do this work lying down in a bed also. So yeah, I'd really like to encourage you to try that out. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework to try both of these techniques out for yourself. So I'm going to challenge you to pick a posture that you really love and that you practice all the time, and pick a posture that you maybe don't love so much, one that you maybe even avoid or gives you trouble, or one that just hasn't been accessible to you in the past, and see if you can take these two approaches. The first one is dissecting, deconstructing to find the essence of posture, and then taking portions of the posture. So just picking, like kind of isolating what work you'd like to do. And then the second one would be the energetic approach, working with the inner experience. So visualizing yourself in the posture, embodying the posture, allowing yourself to really feel the benefits, and that kind of like bridge in between, that little like extra tip to help you kind of build that muscle of discerning what is needed for your body, what's going to help you receive any like healing physically, energetically, is that inner dialogue and being in your body. So asking yourself how something feels, noticing how things feel, and not just on the physical level, but also energetically and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, just kind of trying to welcome in all of these aspects in your practice. And if you're a teacher, like I said, this can be really game-changing for students. This can be a way for you to, share this idea that yoga is for everyone, and everyone can access these benefits and these experiences that I know that I have gained so much from. So hopefully this was interesting and useful for you. I will be back in the future. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to my website,